I don't know. I'll probably get canceled for doing that joke, you know? How stupid is that cancel thing? Plowing ahead. Let's talk white women here, shall we? I tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement. Just to refresh your memory, the woke movement was supposed to be about people of color not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. No, it's unreal. You know?
You are fucking white male privileged assholes.
I'm calling the police right now.
What you are is a racist motherfucker as well.
I've never heard so much complaining in my life from white women. My leg is so hurt with my SUV and my heated seats. Trashing white guys. The nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women.
All you are just a bunch of misogynistic motherfuckers. Take your male privilege somewhere else.
So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to? Yeah, quit your fucking whining. Saw a woman a couple months back, professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, and she starts bitching, going like, I don't understand, how come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, oh, I don't know. Why is that? That is a conundrum. I have no idea. Literally, I'm sitting at home screaming at the TV because you don't sell any fucking tickets. Nobody is going to women's soccer games. You're playing in a 20,000 seat arena. 1,500 people show up. That's not a good night. The promoter lost his fucking ass on that gig. I'm not saying no professional female athletes, Serena Williams, the women in the UFC, you know, but nobody's watching your fucking sport. And then you're going to come and you're going to get mad at fucking men. They keep doing that shit. Why are you yelling at us? It's not our fucking job. It's not my fucking job to give a fuck about women's soccer, okay? I have men's sport to pay attention to. It's your bullshit, right? Dude, look at the WNBA. Dude, nobody in the WNBA got COVID. Nobody. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male-subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. None of you showed up. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists. Faces painted, wearing jerseys, flashing their titties. Going fucking nuts like the guys do. In the upper deck with their big beer titties. Am I on the Jumbotron? Am I doing it? Yeah. You didn't. None of you went to the fucking games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 all-time WNBA players of all time. Come on. That's it. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your fucking city. You can't do it. You don't give a fuck about them. They play night in and night out in front of nobody. It's a fucking tragedy. Right? And then meanwhile, you look at the Kardashians, they're making billions. You look at those Real Housewife shows, they're making money hand over fist, because that's what women are watching. And the money listens. You don't want to watch this shit? You watch this shit? They just shoot it over there, drowning these whores in money. Purses and shoes and Botox. It's just raining. It's raining money. Yeah. So, the money listens. You'd rather watch that shit. Real Housewives, bunch of women just tearing each other down. Well, maybe that's why your husband left you. Maybe that's why your husband left. That's why you can't have kids, bitch. That's why your ass is as flat as your titties, bitch, right? That's the message you sent. We would rather watch that than see a bunch of women come together as a team and try to achieve a common goal. We would rather watch them absolutely fucking destroy each other. Yeah. No. And then in the end, you come back and you fucking yell at guys. And it's like, all right, so let me get this straight. I have to buy you a drink, stop the axe murderer from coming through the fucking window, and I have to watch WNBA games for you? Like, when are you going to pick up your end of the couch?
I would say 13% of people on the internet are cool. The rest of them, they're just a bunch of animals. Why would you want to talk to them?
Wait, you're saying only 13% of people are
cool. 13% are cool. The other 87% are writing horrific stuff under YouTube videos. They're assholes.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, you were afraid of your dad. He came home, he came in the front door, you went out the back door. You just remember going into the woods and you just stay in there till his car left again.
You're thinking about going back to church.
Yeah. I don't believe in any of it, really. And my church, I feel like I'm going there, I'm helping to pay for a legal team. So I don't want to go, no, they only raped kids. Come on, here we go. You're not against that, are you? Jesus Christ. Dude, if you took 90% of my text messages and phone messages and you put them on the news, you would run out of podiums to put in front of me that I would have to apologize. The crap me and DeRosa say to each other, forget it. So you can choose to take a comedian seriously, but that doesn't mean that I now meant the joke, and you can start saying that they're statements, you know?
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Going around saying that 87% of the world sucks, you're not going to get one.
No, but this is the thing.
You're not going to give you one.
I can say that because there's nothing you can take away from me. What are you going to do? You're going to say I can't do stand-up in strip malls anymore? That's usually the punishment. So the genius.
I fly a lot, and there's this whole new thing of generation of people that take their socks and their shoes off on the plane. You got to look at their smelly feet, and then they'll literally stand up and they will walk into a commercial airline bathroom. Yeah, use it and then walk and sit back down again.
That's not right.
Yeah, if I was a dictator, those people would be eliminated.
No, I obviously became a dad late at 48, so I got to make sure. I got to be there for at least 30 years to make sure, you know, she doesn't marry a jerk. And then, then I can just kick off, and that'll be it. Happy holidays, everybody. There you go. I think he just kind of, told people what to invent. Like, he just kind of came in like, I want my whole music collection in that phone. Get on it! And then all these nameless, faceless guys made it happen.
Yeah.
And then they have the big nerd concert, and he goes out there by himself. No belt, sneakers on. I just didn't buy it.
If you went to a restaurant and you didn't like the meal, the chef doesn't owe you an apology. You just don't go to the restaurant anymore.
Right. Rich kids just sit around, doing blow, sitting in Ferraris. They don't do anything. It's the poor kids that they make stuff happen. So
Yeah.
Why respond to somebody who's being negative to you on Twitter?
Because it's fun. Women are so overrated, right? We went from We went from not listening to them to now it's ridiculous. Like that believe women. It's like all of them.
I mean, I don't know.
Again, the good old days.
Yeah. Anyway.
They don't even call it Alphabet City anymore. You know that? They call it like the Lower East Side. Things, gentrification, whatever.
Was that offensive to illiterate people?
What about the angle, there was a lot coming from the Hillary Clinton camp that Trump is bad for children. and they had a lot of ads that said, children are watching this guy.
Oh, we all know
talk.
that children 5 and 6 years old are always tuning into the debates. Taking notes. That's what I did when I was a kid. I'll never forget that.
Because it goes the opposite direction now, of course. You get a tax break for the more kids you get. So you're saying it should go the other direction.
Yeah, no more kids. I'm anti-kids. They need to be stopped.
It's one year what people should do. Like Richard Branson, one of these hot air balloon rich guys, should just like float in over them right before it and just start dropping everything that they want. But even then, they would start stampeding. Like, no matter how many hot air balloons he had.
How do you get out of those conversations if you're not going to admit that you're wrong because you're not wrong, but you're not going to have the argument because it's Len?
No, if I was wrong, I would just say that I'm wrong. But, like, if she wants to argue, I just say, well, I can't argue with you because I gave up this up for Len, and it's driving her nuts. You never saw...
What do you think about population, world population?
It's completely out of control.
Well, what about be fruitful and multiply?
I think we did that. I think we achieved that goal, and it's time to move on to something else. I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Like, I think we need to kind of curb the babies for a minute.
All right, tonight's guest is one of the most talented comedians around and my all-time favorite comic. He's an actor. You've seen him on Chappelle's Show, Breaking Bad, and the movie The Heat. I am personally grateful to him because he helped me get this show on the air by appearing on the pilot. Please give a warm welcome to my good friend, Bill Burr, everybody! Bill Burr!
I got the little high chair here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, it's your show. You're tall.
Yeah, I know. I
Sort
don't
of
want to bring,
average.
but we seem like the same. Like, look in the monitor. That's about right.
I look uncomfortable.
Actually, that was an internet comment I saw that was like, they said, when I see people in high chairs pretending to have like a casual conversation and never addressing the fact that they're in these preposterous high chairs.
There should be a high top bar here with like potato skins. This is very Applebee's going out of business.
Which is kind of perfect because I feel like an Applebee's waiter, don't I? Just like flaming fajitas. Doesn't that feel?
Yeah, you have like that. Like, I don't know if it's me, but you're so happy. Sometimes it bothers me. It does. It's just like, all right, I get it. The sun is shining. Just take it down a little bit. Like I get actually anxiety around people as happy as you. It's like
is that right?
I can't hit the ball back, dude. I can't sustain. It's a rally. You come into the net with your happiness. I'm just like, this is over. It's going to smash it right at me.
The happy ball.
Yeah, the happy ball.
You're a happy fella. You come off as agitated, but you know.
Oh yeah, I'm affable.
You're likable.
No. People have a tendency that they will watch your act, and then they just think like, oh, he's like that 24/7, screaming and yelling, and that's not true. I mean, it is definitely a chunk of my day. No, I don't like being, angry. I don't want to be that guy. I'd like to be jolly, but it hasn't been in the cards so far. I try to be.
Well, we were going to have you on the first week. We were going to have you on the first week, but then you went and got married.
Yeah.
Which I
finally grew up.
Yeah.
Yes, I
did. Yeah. Do you remember on my podcast you railed for about 30 hilarious minutes against marriage? Like the most persuasive, never get married, it's a racket, they're going to take half your shit, that lie.
Yeah, but at this point, no, that's true. And I maintain that. It is an absolutely insane thing to do.
Yes.
Gay or straight. Gays have no idea what they're walking into. I can't wait. I don't wish this on anybody. But when the gay divorces start coming in, they're really going to step back, I think, being like, what the hell were we wishing for here? I could have sent him a card on his deathbed. I didn't. It really wasn't worth that.
Because they can't.
That was their big thing. I can't go and say goodbye when they're dying. But that's if you make it. But it's literally like, as far as marriage is working, that's like the sperm making it to the egg. Yeah.
You're saying...
Dude, it's facts. Most of them don't work. And then you got to start all over again. Just busted,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to work because it usually sides for the women. But when you got two dudes, like how is that going to work out?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I guess it works out for whoever's making more money. This is classic, like how I talk on the podcast. I just get into it, and then I realize, oh, hey, I'm a moron, and I didn't read up on this. Yeah, how is that going to work out?
Well, God.
I'll tell you it's going to work out. The gay dude who's not doing shit is going to get all this stuff and be like, oh, I'm used to a certain lifestyle, right? And then the gay guy who's killing it, he's going to go back to the studio apartment, calling it right now. Calling it right now. It's going to be horrible.
So you're...
It's going to be great. It'll bring straights and gays closer together. Just start like a divorce bar, like all people welcome. And you just compare notes, like what's more horrific? A bitter ex-dude or a bitter ex-woman?
Yeah, when they wrote that "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," there weren't as many public gay relationships, so maybe that's real bad too.
Yeah, but they didn't have the right to try. They not being married, they didn't have a legal contract.
Right.
So I think when they broke up was probably whoever was stronger. You know, they just sort of wrestled for stuff. You guys are taking this really seriously. Like, does he really think that's how gay people break up? I'm just messing around. He introduced me as a comedian. Right? Am I going to have to go on split screen with a blogger tomorrow? Right?
Comedy, can it go too far?
We're going to come back with more Bill Burr. There's no way we're ending this. Billy Burr, our first two-act interview.
There you go. There you go.
Do you want to read the card?
Welcome back, everybody. I'm still here with Bill Burr.
We have time for one question. When you die, is it just lights out?
I hope so. I really hope so.
There's a comfort in that.
Yeah, it's over. Thank God. And I think you just go in the ground, and if they would stop putting people in boxes, if they would just put them in the ground, you would nourish the soil,
right?
And somebody else would have an at-bat.
Yes.
You know, these people, getting their heads frozen, trying to come back to do what? What are you going to do? Like, you're going to come back, like, how much time? Like, Ted Williams just has his head frozen. That wasn't his choice. Like, how long is that head going to be frozen before they have a cure for having no body? You know? So let's just say they come up with it, a cure. You're going to be like, I already have a generation gap when I do a college gig. I just can't imagine coming back like thousands of years later. And you're not hip on music. People are making references to, that's like the French and Indian War of, 3500. You're like, you have no idea what anybody is talking about. You don't know how to levitate. You can't, communicate without speaking. You're going right to the circus. You're going right to the circus. You came back to work at the circus.
Bill Burr, everybody. My favorite comedian. Bill Burr. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Bill. You're amazing.
Let's bring him to a nice, normal, mainstream topic so everybody can drive home happy, no fights, all right? Sound good? All right, great. Let's talk abortion. There you go. Pro-choice always made sense to me because I don't like people telling me what to do. And I always just like, it's your body. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with your body? So that always made sense. However, I still think you're killing a baby. See? That's where it gets weird. Pro-choice people are like, well, it's not a life yet. It's not a baby yet. May or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I'll tell you, my gut tells me that doesn't make sense. It's not a baby yet. That would be like if I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven and then 5 minutes later you came by and you grabbed the pan, you threw it across the floor and I went, what the fuck? You just ruined my birthday cake. And then you were like, well, that wasn't a cake yet. Well, it would have been if you didn't do what you just did. There would have been a cake in 50 minutes. Something happened to that cake, you cake murdering son of a bitch. Right?
No, I think I know how to raise a kid. You know what it is? You just play catch with them. That's how you raise a kid. You play catch with them. You just talk about life. You distract them by throwing the ball. They don't even notice you're filling their heads up with your theories. Right? You don't do it the old school way, the way your parents used to. Sit down across from you. You want to tell me about your day? Right? What's that, son? We're not going to church today. Fuck that. That's all a bunch of bullshit. God's everywhere, but I got to go down there to see him? Really? And he's mad at me down there and I owe you money? Go fuck yourself. It's not down, it's in here. They try to take it. It's in here. You do something good, you feel good. You do something bad, you feel bad, you know? Unless you're like a sociopath, then you don't feel shit. Unless you got somebody duct taped upside down in your apartment, you know? And if you do something like that, I want you to feel like you can come to me, you know? Yeah, come to me, confess all of that. We'll go down to the precinct, we'll tell them everything. Yeah, I'm gonna turn you in. This isn't fucking Dexter. What are you mind?
Let's have a little empathy here. Put yourself in a lesbian's shoes. Who do lesbians date? Women. Who do they move in with? Women. Who do they get in relationships with? Women. Who do they eventually marry? Women. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I did that. I know what it's like to live with one of those fucking things. I know exactly what that is. It's hopeless. Trying to make them happy. Hey, I bought you the shiny thing. Did I do it right? Huh? Trying to get them to take responsibility for their actions. Not gonna happen. The best you're gonna get is I'm sorry, but I know what it's like to be winning a fucking argument. You're winning, and then they turn it around. They're crying. You're apologizing. You're thinking, what the fuck just happened? How am I losing this shit? I had you on the ropes. You feel so dumb. You gotta go for a walk. And you're just thinking, how did I lose again? And then you figure it out. It makes you feel stupid. And then you see some bald idiot with a giant orange mustache. And you're like, you know what? I went a couple months back. Professional soccer player, right? She goes on to ESPN or one of these sports channels, and she starts bitching, going like, I don't understand. How come female athletes don't make as much as male professional athletes? Right? And all of these men had to sit there and act like they didn't know what the answer was. They had to sit there like dumbfounded, like, I don't know. Why is that? That is a conundrum. I have no idea. Literally, I'm sitting at home screaming at the TV because you don't sell any fucking tickets. Nobody is going to women's soccer games. You're playing in a 20,000-seat arena. 1,500 people show up. That's not a good night. The promoter lost his fucking ass on that gig.
Love about sports is it's a great way to tap out from the news and just, you know, watch a game and get away from it. And now there's like all these causes are getting like attached to it. Like I was watching the World Series and I'm in the middle of watching the World Series and out of nowhere they have this moment, stand up to cancer. I'm watching a ball game and all of a sudden everybody stands up holding up a sign of somebody that they either know that's dying of cancer or died of it in the middle of the game. It's just like, what are you doing? Trying to watch a game here. You know, no, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy. He died of cancer. It was horrific. I could have lifted him up off the sheet with 2 fingers. It was horrible. Hey, enjoy. Oh, by the way, I got molested when I was 9. Enjoy that.
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and
2
I wanted
episodes.
to talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel you were
probably
being disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
All right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think
you
I
know
want
what
to.
I'm talking about. It's a morning show. I understand.
I
came on. That kid missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, you know.
And
we were joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you watch in the morning. It's great. It all worked out. He got his own personal graduation. Like, I was in such a great mood. Look how yellow this couch is. It's like the sun.
Bill Burr, comedian, baby. Made headlines in October 2000 and 2000 after controversial monologue. You know, man.
2000 and 2000, Mike, that's 2020.
Nigga, listen,
Those
man.
Brownsville schools, man.
Phil, tell me, man, but listen, right?
Colorado, he trains Rose Namajunas.
Kamaru is
Oh, Rose Namajunas.
Do you love her?
I love her.
I love her too. When she,
I love all the USC female fighters. That's why I want my daughter to know how to know all of that stuff.
That'd be cool, huh?
When she meets a creep like you, she could choke you out.
Bro, I'm gonna say something right. You walked up this fucking
Why are
drive.
you pointing at me? I came over here during rush hour to do
I
your
understand that,
podcast.
and I'm grateful that you're here.
Nothing but a red line the whole way over here.
For being vulnerable.
Oh, would you stop it like you have some sort of psychology degree?
10 years in therapy.
So what? I've watched football for 40 years. I shouldn't be somebody's coach.
Do you remember when they lit up the puck for a few years on
Fox
TV?
News, yeah.
That was you guys.
Do you know? No, but the NHL. No, wait a minute. Time out. The NHL is you guys too. So all the owners had to agree with that, and you all had to be like, we gotta like expand this thing.
We thought we'd funnel money into Canada and keep it here, but you guys took it over, like you tend to do. But
I'm not going to apologize for that.
No, you're big on the
I mean, that's just business, dude. You're acting like we came and knocked you on the head. You know what we're about.
Wait
a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a second. Fellow white person, not native to this country. How did you guys get this up here? Did the Native Americans go, oh, well, we like these white guys. You can have all our land. Jesus Christ. I get it. Your shit smells like maple syrup up here. Is that what you're telling me? All right.
Really? Is that you in action, or is this another photo shoot?
Yeah, it's a photo shoot. People do photo shoots.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen like a movie poster and you'll see a movie star
I have.
who's clearly 5'2", yet somehow he's as tall as the supermodel?
I have.
Yeah, that's a photo shoot. And they fix stuff. Look, I'm sorry you're just on the web, man. You took it to, he took it to this place. I'm not trying to shit on his website. What is it called again? Huh? Zippitydoodah.com.
Because the older guys, Robert Kelly's and all, they all call you Billy. Colin calls you Billy, but I fucking Bill.
I'm
you know
just
what I mean?
immediately noticing. I don't know about the chain. If it's thick enough to be that level of confidence.
Yeah, well, but when
that's more of a necklace.
When the chain's out,
Yeah, he has on a fat chick ankle bracelet around his fucking neck. You have 9 different positions since you started this sentence.
Yeah, because I've been training with Trevor Whitman.
Oh yeah,
with my footwork.
Yeah. Oh, Trevor Whitman. Oh my God.
Do you know him?
No. The deepest couch in sports entertainment.
A lot of people think that they're uncomfortable with my elevation. Are you uncomfortable with it?
No, I just see all of your insecurities.
Your giant desk.
You gush over your daughter. Not everyone gushes. Did your dad gush over you?
I mean, I was too little. Yeah, no, my dad actually at work did. At work, that's when I learned, like, oh my God, yeah, he really likes us. But when he came home, yeah, he was cracking the whip. Your bed mate? You do your studies? Well, why not? You know, it was that shit. And he also had a zillion kids, so I mean, yeah.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will somehow
by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
Seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay. Whoa.
Off the air, I'll cut it.
All right.
Jeez. I love how surprised he is. Jeez.
Well,
There's
you can mention the amount.
There's absolutely crazy people out there.
Yeah. No.
Are you in the process? I cannot get comfortable in this fucking chair. This is just like one of the worst things. This should be like in a museum, is like the prototype. This was the awful level of comfort. We went from a log to this, and then eventually they got cushions. It's another guy looking at his phone. I swear to God. Dude, the day Jesus comes back, if he ever does, if he's even a real person, like 90% of people are going to miss it. They're going to walk right. He's going to be walking on water, and immediately walking by him. They're not even, I thought you were laughing. You were fucking yawning over here.
No, the mushrooms are fucking killing me, man.
I knew it wasn't just weed. I was just like, there's no way I'm taking a hit off of that. There's something going on here.
Mushrooms, baby. The shrooms. I'm shrooming.
fucked up this is? He's shrooming, and he's wearing pants like he went riding a horse today. Like side saddle or some shit.
Man, don't be like my wife. My wife is like Dick Patrol, man. Don't be like checking out my fucking tight pants and shit.
Like, I love how you came at me aggressive, and now you're going. You got your those little panda hands.
I was. I love how you attacked my little panda hand.
That's what you look like. You look like a little panda.
I know. I was just because when you took your hat off,
like a little adolescent bear.
At some point, I was going to make a point here. That's why I keep looking at here, and I just realized I'm blocking myself out of the camera. I love that you have the jib camera for this, like it's an action movie. Let's swoop in at these two guys sitting in these unbelievably small chairs. I literally feel like I'm going to fall onto the floor. This is insane. You really went all out with the audience, though. They got full-size adult chairs. Are these like from the 20s before they had like horse tranquilizers in our food, and everybody was like 5'1"? Yeah,
So your Christian background is part of the show. Or at
Yes,
least
and I
two
wanted to
episodes.
talk to you about Jesus after this.
Well, the only reason why I bring it up is some people thought maybe you went a little too far. You know.
As far as what?
Well, they thought that maybe you were being disrespectful to the Christian religion.
Who did?
I'm telling you, you need to Google.
Oh, good Lord.
So did you feel you were being
some...
disrespectful, or just you were just having fun with some of the crucifixes and stuff like that?
I don't even know what I mean, we did maybe 2 jokes about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you think the Catholic Church went a little too far? More so than my cartoon.
All right, listen.
A couple of jokes. I know this is a morning show. You can't bring up all those crimes.
You know what? Technically,
they just sort of kept moving them around. You know, like those killer whales at SeaWorld. After it kills a trainer, they'll then move it up to Seattle. They don't give them their background.
all right, I'm not totally following, but I don't think
you
I
know
want
what
to.
I'm talking about. It's a morning show. I understand.
I like it. Thank you for
I
being
came on.
positive.
That kid
Positive.
missed the graduation, and then it was a feel-good story.
It was a feel-good, and we want to leave.
If you want to feel good about America, you watch the morning shows. You don't watch this, you know.
And
we were joking earlier. If that kid's story about the graduation was late night, that would have been a whole different story.
What do you think?
He's still missing. We can't find him. All we found was his hat. But you watch in the morning. It's great. It all worked out. He got his own personal graduation. Like, I was in such a great mood. Look how yellow this couch is.
This is what my girlfriend did one night when I was driving home. This is how much they manipulate, or as I call it, lie, to get what they want. I was driving home, and I was looking at there was this diner. And I was driving home, and it was late at night. I was like, hey, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to get one of those milkshakes. And you were just like, oh, my God.
I hate when you do that generic female voice.
Fuck you. It's hilarious. Let's not forget, at the end of the day, my job is to make those people laugh. Okay, Nia? You don't understand. These people work hard all week. These are Americans. They need to come out and forget about their problems. No, whatever. I don't have, what am I, Mel Blanc? I got one fucking voice. I do. Nice reference. I watch cartoons. Really? Is that all it takes to impress you on a first date? That's how you ended up with me. He knows who does the voice of Bugs Bunny. This guy's a keeper. I think this guy will be able to provide.
Have you ever told that story?
What?
The first night that we ever hung out.
When I hooked up? We'll save that for another one. Okay. But you gotta tell me, huh? You had to be impressed with my skills.
Yeah. Well, yes.
You see that? They just won't give it up. This guy was fucking cock blocking me on an Olympic level. He saw I was going to hook up. He actually tried to split a cab with you.
Yeah, I know.
On the way home, and I got around that.
Yeah.
Got around that. What happened? I fucking put the cards. I went all in, just like World Series of Poker. I went all fucking in. She was trying to be all coy with the little Sammy Davis Jr. hat on, trying to play all hard to get. Huh? Thinking you were dealing with the sophomore in fucking college, like I didn't have any fucking lines?
All right.
Yeah. And that douchebag kept coming over, cock blocking me. He invited, we were all set. I was hanging out. I'm going to tell you right now. We were hanging out, right? Me and this other dude. And all of a sudden, Nia shows up, right? And I can see the vibe. I see the look on her face. I know she wants it. No. I just,
And we had met before. So.
Shut up. You look great. You came up, you had a nice big smile, and you're being flirtatious, and I immediately liked you, right? So you went to the bathroom. You're with a friend. I'm with a friend. Every guy knows what you're supposed to do. Take that fucking battle axe out of the picture. Okay? Take one for the team. I can't remember who the fuck you're with, so if it's one of your friends, I apologize.
Yeah, not a battle axe.
Whatever. All right. a war memorial. So what is this fucking? He goes the opposite route. I said, you went to the bathroom. I said, listen, I'm really doing well with this girl, all right? So, dude, I had to he was like a chick. No, I had to be like, so if I'm not paying attention to you, don't get upset. This is how female this dude was, right? So this is what he ends up doing, okay? The fucking guy ends up, as we're going to leave, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to try to peel off with your girl who's not a battle axe. And he just goes, he invites another dude over and goes, hey, you guys all want to get something to eat? Remember? Yeah. And remember? And he invited us over. Now we're sitting there. It's me, you, your not so battle axe friends, and 3 other fucking cocks are sitting there. And I'm trying to hit on you. Yeah. And he keeps jumping in. And then he goes, hey, Nia, where do you live? Oh, I live up that way. You want to split a cab? Right. Remember that?
I do. And I had to be like, no.
No, you didn't. It was over at that point. I made the move. Remember that? I said, are you at least? But before he fucking said that shit, he was doing everything. I remember I didn't have any cash, and I pulled out my credit card. I said, you guys just give me the cash or just put it on my credit card. And he goes, oh, he's just trying to get the miles. Remember that? Anything he'd do to make me look like a shithead.
You paid for the whole thing. I thought you were like, bam, I'm paying for the whole meal.
No,
everyone gave
No, they gave me money because I didn't have any cash.
You paid for mine.
This is how I got you. Which you were sitting there, and I said, look, are we at least going to be able to split a cab? Because I wanted to go over and have a drink with you.
Right.
And I was like, at least we able to split a cab. And then you're like, why? Why do you want to split a cab? Just putting up the roadblock? And that's when I went all in. I said, because I want to kiss you. Bam. Right. Yeah. And then that was it. I didn't fucking talk to you after that. Yeah, you sat there with that little stunned look on your face. Then what happened? Then we walked outside.
Really,
then we walked out. That was the shit. That was one of the greatest. The fucking guys like that used to always get me. I fucking nailed that. Stuck the landing. Like a male Mary Lou Retton. And you know what the best part was? Then I stood up. And at that point I was like, fuck it. I said what I wanted to do. All this shit is in. I don't need to talk to her anymore. And I sort of peeled off, right? And then everybody got up to leave. And then you kind of tucked me on the shoulder and said, don't worry. You said, don't worry. We're going to split a cab uptown. And then I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Because now I'm in. And now I'm going to get to watch that little fucking cock block get his balls knocked on the fucking sidewalk. And that's what happened. He came out, right? He clapped his hands. Remember that? Came out just like this. And he was just like, so, you guys ready to go? Yeah. And you were like, yeah, actually, we're taking a cab. And he was so in cock block mode, he still didn't know. He's like, no, I live right near you. Yeah. And you were like, listen, we're taking a cab, and we're going uptown. And you leaned over and you said it, and then that's when he realized that everyone realized he was a cock blocking douche. And then what did he do? He goes, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. He just fucking peeled off. Yeah. Huh? Then what happened?
We can't talk about that.
My other fucking classic line? Boy, I fucking reeled you in was a masterpiece. Fucking masterpiece. Then we got in the cab, and you said, I thought you were going to kiss me. And we fucking driving like a maniac, and I go, I can't. The cab's jumping around too much. I go, I'll kiss you at the first red light.
He's really trying to,
right?
drag it out. You were trying to make this whole,
I was fucking seducing you, and it worked. Right? Then we hit the fucking red light. Yeah. I put one on you. Bam. Right? Mm-hmm. Couldn't feel your fucking feet. I'm going to make this story last 9 hours long. And then you know what happened? Then I sat back and I was playing Mr. fucking Cool again like I'm fucking Walt Frazier in 1972. Oh, the callback to the Knicks from an hour ago, right? Then what happened? We stopped again, and I'm sitting there looking out the window, and you go, it's another red light, right? And then we heard that cheesy saxophone from every fucking sexy movie in the 80s. Right? And then you were going, I'm not going home with you. I'm not going home with you. Now, whenever they say that, guys, you know they're not going home with you. You know that shit. So what you have to do is you have to constantly make them feel like it's safe and they're in control. So before you said you weren't going home with me, I felt your vibe. I knew the deal. So I just said, listen, I know we're not going home together, but I really am a good time with you. I'd like to have another drink with you. All right? I know a nice bar. Ba, 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 and bam. Right?
And I did not go home with
you. You didn't go home with me. We had like fucking 8 more drinks and made out for like the next 5 hours in that fucking Hell's Kitchen bar. Had a great time. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So there's a little story, people. There's your...
I've been battling with my girlfriend a lot lately. She loves to watch the Oprah Winfrey Show, and I love to watch her watch the Oprah Show. And then I wait for Oprah to say something that I don't agree with, and then I take it out on my girlfriend because I'm a jerk. So Oprah brings out her first guest, right? She gives her this huge intro. She's written a book, she's been in a movie, and she does the most difficult job on the planet. She's a mother. So immediately I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, really? Being a mother is the most difficult job on the planet? How many moms died on ice road truckers last season? You know, any moms get washed overboard on Deadliest Catch? No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but which job would you rather have? You want to scoop crabs up off the bottom of the ocean, hanging off some rusty tugboat, catching that trap to the back of your head every couple of weeks? Or you want to hang out in the sunshine with a couple of rugrats? You know, you can send them to bed anytime you want on some trumped up charges. Yeah. Trumped up charges, yeah, because you want to have a drink and watch The Price is Right. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it is. Maybe it is the most difficult job. I mean, I thought roofing in the middle of July is a redhead. You know? I thought that was a difficult job. But evidently, these mothers, they're bending over at the waist, putting DVDs into DVD players. I don't know how they do it. How do they do it? Oh, the way they push that stroller with the round wheels. Yeah, and the baby in there. It's the most difficult job on the planet. Going to war pinned down by a sniper. What a joke. It's a joke. You ever burp a baby and forget to put that towel up there? Oh, there's another shirt you gotta wash, right? Oh yeah, lift with your knees and put it in that machine that does it for you. People, any job you can do in your pajamas is not difficult. Sure, it's draining, but come on, man. Being a stay-at-home mom, that's like my dream job. No boss, no time card, no taxes. You're off the grid. Hanging out all day, making grilled cheese sandwiches. Giving a puppet show, you dress like a dragon. Then some other adult comes home and gives you money. Yeah. Actually, Nerd Jesus died in the last year, right? Steve Jobs. Yeah, he died, right? I know. A lot of nerds here tonight. I know, you're sad. I didn't get it. I didn't get the big deal they made about that guy. When he died, they were like, he changed the world. That was insane. He changed the world. The world was one way, and then Steve Jobs came, and it was another. What did he do? Somebody, for the love of God, what the fuck did that guy do? What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys. See you in 8 years. Where you going, Michael? Big, little, get on it. Right? And all these people slave away to make his vision come true. And then they have the big nerd fest, right? Down there, Comic-Con, and all their nerd mecca. They're all showing up with their Acne and their Hulk shirts, limping into the arena, right? Does Steve Jobs go out with a whole chorus line of scientists? No, he goes out there by himself. Sneakers and no belt, like it was no biggie, right? like he's Tesla, tapping into the atmosphere. I know, this is always uncomfortable. I know, you bought into it, right? That whole advertising, the way they aligned themselves with some of the greatest people of all time. Jesus, Gandhi, me. Remember that? Muhammad Ali, John Lennon, this guy. How the fuck was that dude like any of them? Gandhi didn't have a sweatshop. Nah, he didn't have people leaping to their deaths only to catch a net and get ricocheted back through the window to have to put together yet another iPad. John Lennon didn't have children in his basement pressing those fucking albums. I know. New phone can't fit the old charger. This is your hero? This is the guy? This is what all the silence is about? New phone can't fit the old charger, so then you gotta throw it out, ends up in the ocean around some octopus's neck. Do you realize how much sea life is ecstatic that man is no longer walking the earth? That's where it all ends up, you know. Doesn't go in a landfill, ends up in the ocean. You realize that? I hate people who say I don't pollute. I don't pollute. Yeah, you do. You use shit and you throw it out. Well, you think because you put it in like a basket, it just poof, disappears? Everything you ever used is somewhere. You ever think about that? Remember that flannel shirt you bought back in the day when you got into Pearl Jam? That's out there somewhere. Probably on some porpoise's face. He's trying to get it off. Stupid little flippers. All the fads. You remember rollerblading? Remember that? Everybody had them. We set up cones, we did little tricks, right? One little homophobic joke killed that entire fad. What's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Telling your parents you're gay. Full-grown adults. Dude, I'm not gay. I don't have the cooties. These mean I suck dick. And they just threw them out. They end up in the ocean. They're made out of plastic. They can't biodegrade. They just break down to little cubes. Fish are breathing them in. 6 months later, you're going out, you're getting sushi. You think you're being healthy. You're eating your old rollerblades.
I'm becoming a psycho. I've realized that about myself. I am. I watch conspiracy theory and like slap fights till like 2 in the morning on YouTube, you know? Yeah, I start like piecing shit together. I'm becoming that guy. I'm like that guy, you know, you sit there, you're sitting there drinking in a bar and all, you know, some guy's cool, you're talking about the game, then all of a sudden he's just like, you know, there's no gold behind our currency. You realize that? You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Pick up your drink, just fucking walk away. Oh, that's what I'm becoming. Totally into conspiracy. That's why I think Barack Obama's going to win the election. I think they're going to let him win. Because they're in the process of bankrupting this country, and I think that they need a black guy to blame it on. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dude, it'll totally feed into the rednecks. They'll be like, you see what happened? Dude, he's only half black. Well, that's the half that did it. That's what happened. I bet the white half was saying. That's what, you know, see, I'm just fucking losing people. I am. I just look at TV and nothing makes sense to me. I'm sick of them telling me shit is shocking that it's completely obvious. Crocodile hunter dies. Oh, can you fucking... Yes, I can totally believe it. It's why I watched the show. I watched it every week because I knew eventually he was going to fucking die. And I wanted to see it. Right? Oh, I like that dog, the bounty hunter video, or the phone message he left. You know, people are like, can you believe he left that racist message? It's like, dude, look at him. Look at him. Some redneck with a mullet down to his ass. He drives a pickup. He's got the gloves with the fingers cut off. Yeah, who would have thought he had a couple of fucked up ideas rolling around in his head, you know? Dude, you know what would have been shocking? If he could play the cello. That would have been shocking, right? Yeah, then you'd be sitting there like, God damn, look at Doc. Here it is. I thought he was some racist on his way to a steak and shake, and he's busting out a little Beethoven. God damn, I owe this guy an apology, you know?
God, I'd love to see his iPod. I can't imagine the eclectic mix of music. This is how much time I spend alone on the road, man. I actually spent so much time alone on the road, I actually like contemplated milk to the point I can't even fucking drink it anymore. Sitting there drinking, like, man, this stuff is great, tastes awesome, you know? Then I started thinking, it comes out of the carton, and I just did the police work, it comes out of a cow, and I'm like, I am fucking suckling from another species. We have such a crazy relationship with cows. You ever think about that? No, you can nurse from it, you can eat it, right? You can tip it over when it's sleeping, but if you fuck it, you're going to jail. All right, I'm thinking about getting a dog, everybody. I am. No, I'm at the point. Nothing alive is dependent on me. I gotta get out of this tailspin, man. So I'm thinking about getting a dog. My girlfriend wants me to like adopt a dog. She's like, you want to adopt a dog? We should rescue one. You want to do that? I'm like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? I go, because I think a lot of those dogs, they're a little fucked in the head. Yeah, how do you think they ended up down there? It's like, dude, that's not a pet store. That's like doggy death row, all right? Why don't we just go to a prison and like adopt an inmate on the off chance that maybe they didn't commit the crime, you know, just roll the dice? Dude, fuck that. I want a brand new 2008 Bulldog, all right? I don't want some like 1995, half a Labrador. It's got part of its ear chewed off, you know? Every time I go to use the toaster, it starts freaking out. You know, because his last owner hung him from the ceiling fan every time the Jets didn't cover the over, you know? Dude, that is an animal. That thing could kill you. If a squirrel wanted to fuck me up, if it just started running at me, by the time I processed, like, is that a rat? Is that mechanical? By the time I figured it out, it would have ran up my leg and just taken chunks out of my ear. Then I got to tell that story for the rest of my life, sitting in a bar. Dude, what happened to you? A fucking squirrel, right? Never get laid again. That's what I'm saying, right? I get one of those crazy dogs, get up at like 3 in the morning to take a leak, right? I'm shuffling to the bathroom, and that's the exact moment his previous owner used to come home shit-faced and beat the crap out of the dog, right? I got no clue. I'm just, sitting there shuffling to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the dog's getting all amped up, like, fuck this shit, man. I promised myself I wouldn't let this happen again, all right? It's time to man up, man up. Ah! It's flying at me. Takes a big chunk out of my neck. Then what? I'm laying on the ground bleeding. What are they going to do with the dog? They're going to take him right back down to the prison like some repeat offender, have like shackles on him and stuff. He's just sitting there hopping back in. We knew you'd be back. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get me a milk bone, you know? Wheel him in like Hannibal Lecter with like that lampshade around his neck. I got to work on my temper, though. Something I really got to do. I let like the thoughts just spin away, you know? I was on a plane the other day. I actually had the urge to elbow an old lady in the face. It was like compelling. It was unbelievable. You know, when you go to get off a plane, there's like rules when you go to get off the plane, all right? It goes row by row by row. And this lady was all like, ooh, I'm 90. I get to cut everybody, right? So I'm competitive. I start fucking boxing her out, right? Start bringing down like the overhead luggage, you know? So she just starts like waddling around me. And all of a sudden I just feel my elbow like, dude, you're going to take this shit? This is ridiculous, man. The whole half of the plane is watching it. Come on, man. Dude, we got a wide open shot. Just real light. Poof. You know, I got to hit it that hard. And then you can play it off. I'm literally talking to my elbow like, dude, come on, man. We can't do this shit, all right? This chick's like 95 years old. We can't do it. I thought I had my body under control, and she got like to right about there, and then I felt my foot like, dude, we could still trip her. Just throwing that out. I'm sick of Obama's wife. Yeah. This isn't some Republican rant either. It's just kind of first ladies in general. You know, I don't know what it is. All throughout my life, with each presidency, like these first ladies, they've just gotten more and more like chatty. You know? More and more chiming in, like leaning into the frame, spitting out their ideas. It's just like, well, why are you talking? Right? You weren't elected. Shut up. Your husband's not running a lemonade stand here. He's running the country. You don't just chime in. Let me guess, is this considered sexist? It is? Why? Well, okay, you just nodded there, lady. Let me ask you this, all right? Let's say you had a leak in your house, okay? You call a plumber up. He shows up, and he goes, yeah, I think the leak's coming from the upstairs bathroom. We need to shut it up, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden his wife walks in, who isn't a plumber. And then goes, hey, you know, I'm actually taking care of it. Wouldn't you be like, with all due respect, shut the up. I need a plumber in this moment. I'll extend an olive branch here. All right, at some point, there's going to be the first female president, right? Exactly. Which means at that moment, you're going to have the first male first lady, right? And when that happens, that dude needs to shut his trap. I don't want to hear a word out of him. I want to hear from the president. You, sir, go do some first lady stuff, all right? Go get yourself some gloves that go up to your elbows. Smile and nod during speeches. Go put your own flair redecorating the White House, right? Which leads you to Michelle Obama, right? Now she's sitting there holding up those hashtags. Remember that hashtag, bring back our girls? Remember that? It's like, that blew my mind. It's like, why are you showing me that? I'm a stand-up comedian. Like, what am I going to do to get those girls back? Why don't you look across the dinner table? It's like, you see that guy? That is the leader of the free world. Tell him to pick up a phone, call some Navy SEALs and solve it. What am I going to do? Show up with a sharpened mic stand? Hey, Michelle said to bring him back. Oh, it's unreal. I'll tell you what kills me. Hillary Clinton might run. She might run. That blows my mind. I mean, how she became a senator. She went from being the president's wife to being a senator. Just like that. Lateral move. That's like Tom Brady's wife becoming the next quarterback of the Rams. It's like, what, you hanging out? You just pick it up? I sucked at sports, and then I banged Tom Brady, and I don't know what happened. I just picked up a ball. I started lacing it. I'm leading receivers. It was incredible. I knew it was going to be like this. You know what's funny? There's actually people out there that think a woman being president is actually a good idea. You know? Can you believe that? See that they do? That'll do something. That'll change things. How? How the is that going to change anything? Do you know what the president makes a year? The president makes $400,000 a year. That's it. He's trying to keep billionaires in line, making $400,000 a year. That's all he makes. He makes less than some people blogging on the internet. The president should have you money, right? He shouldn't be sitting there with his pockets turned inside. I need your help to get me the job, right? What do you guys all donate to the campaign? Is that what it is?
I'm at that age where everybody I know is getting married. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell do people keep getting married? You know what I mean? Isn't anybody looking at the stats? You know what I mean? 3 out of 4 marriages go right down the shitter, right? If you were going skydiving and they told you 3 out of 4 parachutes weren't going to open, you'd be like, yo, fuck that, I'm not going. Like, I don't like those odds. I have a 75% chance of splatting on the ground. But there's something about getting married. People just have to do it, right? They're just like, is this the line to lose half my shit? Awesome. This is going to be great. No, I'm just kidding. I love women. I'm just not compatible with them. No, they got too much energy for me. You notice I said they always have to be doing something. You know, like they can't like take a day off, you know? You can't have a day off when you have a girlfriend. They just like see that open day. They're like, oh my God, let's fucking fill it up with shit. They just come at you with like one horrible idea after another. They have the worst ideas. They do. You ever get to this one, they'll be like, you want to go to brunch? You want to go to brunch on Sunday? And inside you're like, fucking no! But you can't say that. You got to keep her happy, right? So what do? You agree? Yeah, let's go to brunch. What a great idea.
Why would you want to sleep in on a Sunday when you can go pay $52 for eggs? Now you're thinking. Then we can sit around and listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, you know, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. I was dating this girl recently. She was like really into like women's issues, you know? Because women always go on TV, you know, they say all they want is to be treated exactly like guys. But if you listen to them, they don't. All they want is the good shit of being a guy. They're cherry picking. They look at a guy's life like it's like a buffet, right? Like you just can start picking out stuff, like same amount an hour, we'll take some of that. Pay for the movie, fuck that. You can keep that one, I don't like that one. This is nice, that's yucky, that's icky. I mean, come on, people, you can't choose. This girl gives me shit. She goes, well, why does a guy make more an hour to do the exact same job? I go, I'll tell you why. Because in the unlikely event that we're both on a Titanic and it starts to sink, for some fucked up reason, you get to leave with the kids and I have to stay. That's why I get the $1 more an hour. Oh, it's $1 an hour surcharge. You hear a bump in the night, I gotta go check it out. Like, yes, he does have a knife. Anytime there's a hostage situation, who do they negotiate for? Well, at least let the women and children go. Well, what about me? You think I want to stay in the vault? Those 20 other sweaty guys sharing a bag of peanuts, you know? Praying to God I'm not the hostage who gets dragged out by the psycho with a gun to my head as he's asking the cops for a helicopter. Which I know he's not going to get, right? I know he's not getting the helicopter. So now I gotta make idle conversation with a 38 to my head going, dude, go for a rent-a-car. I think you should go for the rent-a-car. See what I'm saying? Where are all those feminists then? You can't find them. There are no feminists in a house fire. You can take the most hardcore feminist, you know, some chick right in your face, you chauvinistic son of a bitch, you know, little short, little haircut, you know. Second those flames break out, she'll twist those little hairs into pigtails. Oh, I'm just a girl. I want to go play jump rope. No, that's why I hated that movie, the Titanic. Every girl I meet thinks that movie's romantic. It's irritating. I was like, that was really romantic, don't you think? It's like, no! It's a fucking horror film. And they're always like, why? I'm like, because all the guys die. See, you're watching it trying to relate, going, who would I be? You'd be that chick floating away in the big piece of luggage, right? I'm watching it going, who would I be? I'd be that dude when, like, the boat breaks in half, that dude who, like, falls straight down and bangs off the shit and goes in the water. That's who I'd be. I'd be wearing a tuxedo, not because I wanted to, but you wanted to dress up that night, right? I'd be falling the whole way down going, I should have fucked that chick in first class. All right, listen, I'm out of time. You guys had a lot of fun. Thank you very much.